What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another one. Guess who's on the jack stands again? Alright, before I get into what happened with the Cobalt, I just wanted to update you guys on a couple of things. So I was finally able to save up to get these Power Stop Evolution brake pads. They are in already. I have the R1 concept rotors in there, all 4 of them. And I wanted to also update you guys on the wheels. I know it's become a sensitive subject for me already since I've failed a couple times at painting them, but I think I finally got it right. I was able to do the center caps again. I know you can't really tell, but I painted these and they came out pretty good. So I will be working on them again as soon as we get this issue done with CV axles. I have the first wheel again ready to go. Cleaned it all up. Got all the excuse me, all the old primer and paint off of it. So in a couple of days we'll probably start working on that. It's been very hot lately. It is what, almost gonna be the 15 till 11 and it's already 80 something degrees, but it's been a little bit cooler. All right, a couple weeks ago I took the Cobalt out for a spin, you know, just to get the fluids going, moving them around, put gas in it and whatever, and went up to a light, decided I wanted to give it the beans, and it backfired on me. I don't know what exactly happened, but it just heard like a loud bang explosion almost, and saw a bunch of what looked like oil coming out from underneath. So at first I thought either I blew the transmission or the engine broke, but luckily when I got underneath it, it just looks like it was a CV axle. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to sound like that. So something is definitely off in there. And you can see in there, well, maybe you can't. It's a little wet. So obviously there is fluid in there somewhere. Alright, now it's time to do a little exploration, see what's going on. Take the wheel off, and we'll take a further look. Safety first. Alright guys, so I was going through it. Kind of wiped down the lower control arm a little bit. Had a bunch of fluid on it, but here it is. The CV axle is blown out. And the hell was that? Well, yeah. Safe to say, CV axle is done. Keep this ring for something. Alright guys, I'm gonna finish wiping it down and we're gonna start replacing it. I'll show you what I got. Alright guys, here at Pony's Garage, where we have caviar taste at a Taco Bell budget. We also saved up for some nice ZZP Stage 1 CV axles. Just got them in a couple days ago. How these bad boys look. Oh yeah, much better. Let's take a closer look. Let's take them out of the bag. Oh yeah, these bad boys look a lot beefier, a lot nicer too. They're not all rusted out like the ones on the car right now. We spared no expense on these. So working on the CV axle takes 2 people to do, so I decided to exploit some child labor and got my 13-year-old in there to hold down the brake. So go ahead and hold it down. I'm gonna start spinning it out. Let me know when you're holding it. Okay. Oh yeah, much better. Obviously we already backed it out some, so there it is. So that's step 1. Then after that we gotta take off the caliper and then take off these knuckle bolts. Sheesh! No? Now that I have the car up on the jack stands, I don't think I ever showed you guys my Raceland Coilovers. I installed them about 3 or 4 months ago, and I've taken the car out more than a handful of times. And as you can see, they're holding up very well, very nice. They're actually very comfortable. And I also didn't show you guys the replacement of the lower control arms. I know somebody had mentioned to me that maybe I needed to change them out, and I did. So whoever had the car before me, I think he installed some like LT or LS style lower control arms. I'm not sure if they fit or not, but they were just completely off. They were stamped. They weren't like these right here. These FE5s are holding up very well. Very nice. I got them off of Amazon. So once again, these Raceland Coilovers are awesome. I highly suggest them to all you guys if you're on a budget like I am. Alright, enough messing around. Let's get started. So I took the CV axle nut off, turned it around, kind of threaded it back on, and we're gonna hit it. Maybe not necessarily with this dead blow. I have a regular mallet that I'm gonna use, but before we start doing that, we gotta take off, like I said, these knuckle bolts, and let's take off this caliper. And the 2 caliper bolts you need to start with is this one right here, and the one down there, somewhere down there. Let's get started. Alright, and there's the caliper taken off. Caliper bolts are right there in the little cart. And here it is. So I have a little bungee to hold it up, because I don't suggest you let your caliper hang like that by itself. I have it rested up against my tire. As you can see, it has a little slack on it, but ideally you do not ever want to let your calipers hang and be held up by the brake line. And with that being said, I'm more of a do as I say, not as I do type of guy. I know I said that we could hang it with this wire, but for whatever reason I just can't bring myself to hang it off of my Raceland Coilovers and risk scratching up the finish on it, because I'm petty like that. Alright guys, so in all seriousness, there is slack right there, so I don't think it's going to harm the brake line at all. It's sitting on top of the wheel. And one good thing out of all this, I was looking at these old brake pads. They are still very meaty, so at least, whoop, I'll give the previous owner that at least he took care of his brakes. Okay, on to the knuckle. And we're going to use a little movie magic here. I've already gone and busted these open a little bit with the pry bar, because this poor little 12 volt would never be able to do this job by itself. Here we go. There's one. And there's the other. Alright, and that's down there. Let's get this one out. Oop, a little stuck. Alright. The other one. So now I just gotta lightly tap these with a mallet and carefully carefully remove this brake line and ABS sensor. Careful not to break them or damage them when you guys are removing these. Okay, I removed the ABS sensor. Sorry, it was no brake line on it, but I separated them both. This little clip just slides out, so it didn't break off, it just slid out. And I just slid it back in, I disconnected it from back here. And right there, I had to take a little break from being out here because it got extremely hot. But before I went on break, I tapped them out just a little bit. Got them up to right there. I am gonna have to remove them, but I think I am gonna call it quits for today, at least for now, because we're up to about 100 degrees and I am melting in the garage. It's about 3:15. So we're gonna pick up tomorrow morning, hopefully when it's nice and cool, knock it out, and then hopefully get the CV shaft out of there. Good thing this is a California car, so rust is to a minimal. Some of you guys might get that. And yeah, we'll get it out of here. Alright guys, see you guys tomorrow. Okay, I lied. Still the same day. I came back out here because I just could not leave this rotor on and not clean the shield on it. So, in true Pony's Garage fashion, I'm going to do a little time lapse and clean that up. Here we go. Alright, here's a little after the cleanup. I'll probably give it another little once over tomorrow morning, but I think this time, for reals, I'm gonna go inside for the rest of the day because it is still about 100 degrees and it's 6:30. So I don't think it's gonna be cooling down anytime soon, and I don't want the executive producer coming out here and yelling at me because I'm still out here. Alright, see you guys tomorrow. Alright, so indeed it is the next day. So I ended up removing the knuckle bolts from the coilovers, and I was able to pull the boot out, and most definitely guys, we had catastrophic failure. This thing just completely came off, and in there excuse me, there is another ring like this one right here sitting in there. So this is, so far all the pieces have been coming out of it, so this might be a bit of a challenge to get out. I'm gonna try to get it out there. I'll give you guys an update in a minute. So indeed it has been 2 weeks and I have not been able to take out the inner CV axle out of the intermittent shaft. So I decided to just take it all out of the car. It's gonna be easier to pull out from the transfer case because there's always transmission fluid back there, so it just popped right out. But the inner CV axle is a different story. I've tried a lot of things. I even hit it with the BFH, didn't come out, and that just caused me to mar some of the intermittent shaft, which is probably a bad idea. Aesthetically it looks bad, but the bearing still works fine. It does move, but this guy just will not budge. I also bought a couple tools. I bought a 2.5 pound slide hammer and a 5 pound slide hammer, and I just for the life of me I cannot get this thing out. So right now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna end up taking it to a shop and see if they can probably separate it for me at a reasonable price. So I'm gonna end this video here guys and just post it up because I haven't posted in a while. That's 2 strikes in a row. One was with the wheels, and second is gonna be with the CV axle, but you know, not everything stays down, so what goes down must come up. So hopefully we see a bright side to this. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.